Hey everyone, I'm Cary Smith and I'm sitting here with Cheri Turner and we're both with Client First Capital. And today we're talking about when is a Roth conversion not in your best interest? And Cheri, you are kind of our resident Roth conversion retirement account specialist. So I'm going to put you in the hot seat for this conversation.
Okay.
But I know that you know that there's some that Roth conversions in general are a really good tax strategy, but there are times when there maybe not be the best strategy for you. So
Right.
if you would just kind of share with us, when is a Roth conversion maybe not in your best interest?
Sure. Absolutely. So again, as you said, Roth conversions are a fantastic tool. Yours and my good friend Amar calls them the greatest thing since sliced bread, which tells you just how great they are. However, now is not always the best time for a Roth conversion. So how do you know when it's not a good time? One of those instances is when today you're in a really high tax bracket, especially if you already know and expect that later you're going to be in a lower one. In essence, you would be choosing to pay the taxes on that amount that you roll over at a very high tax rate, where truly you have the opportunity to wait a few years and do that when your tax rate is much lower. So in that instance, you would want to wait. Now, sometimes that's if you're actively working and earning money today. Other times it might be when you're early in retirement and you're traveling a lot, or you're maybe still supporting children. And so perhaps you're pulling a lot more out of your retirement funds today, specifically from your IRA, than you would be in the future. So in that event, you'd be paying more in taxes than you will be even in retirement in future years.
Okay, I like that, Cheri. So if I hear you right, a Roth conversion might still be a good idea in your future, but right now is not the right time for it because you're probably going to pay more taxes than if you waited a little bit. Okay, very
Absolutely.
good.
Correct.
All
Now,
right.
another instance is if you have insufficient cash to pay the taxes due from the conversion itself. Now, many people ask, well, why can't I just pull extra out of my IRA so that I can pay the taxes with that? Well, that kind of defeats the purpose, because then now you're pulling from the base of funds that you have in that account that are there to grow for your future retirement. So essentially, you want to always ensure when doing a Roth conversion that you have available from somewhere else those funds necessary in order to pay the taxes.
Okay, so you might need to have some liquidity in
Mhm.
your current funds, your non-IRA funds, to help pay
Exactly.
those taxes now. Okay,
Yes.
yeah, good point. It's a good point.
Yeah. Now, another instance might be if you have a very short time horizon before you need those funds and you don't already have a Roth IRA. So when you open a Roth IRA, those funds must have a 5-year waiting period. So if this is your first Roth IRA account, then once you do that conversion, those funds must sit there or you're going to end up paying penalties on them. Well, that defeats the purpose of the tax benefit that we're pursuing. So in that instance, if you know that you're going to need those funds shortly and you don't already have a Roth established, then you would probably not want to do it. Now, if you do already have a Roth account with some Roth funds already available in there, your 5-year period will have already started when you opened that initial account. And so then you might be okay to do the Roth conversion at that time.
Okay, all right.
And
So go ahead.
then,
You keep going. Keep going.
oh, yeah. Another instance would be, as we said, the whole objective is tax savings. So if doing the Roth conversion is now going to bump you into a higher tax bracket to where you lose out on certain tax credits, such as the Earned Income Credit or the American Opportunity Tax Credit, well, again, then you're losing that benefit. It's counterproductive because you're having one kind of tax savings, but losing out on another one. So you really want to assess, that's another time when you want to assess maybe it's going to be beneficial in the future when you no longer qualify for those benefits.
Okay, very good.
Um, there's another instance where if you're close to retirement, but you really aren't expecting a very high RMD, so right now the concern is
I'm
that
going to back you up real quick and say, what does RMD mean, Cheri?
yes, RMD is your required minimum distribution, which is the annual amount that you're required to remove from your IRA after age 73. So for some people, that required minimum distribution is quite large and then impacts heavily what tax bracket you're in. For some people, if your IRA is quite small and the required minimum distribution is not going to impact your tax bracket, and you don't have a high need to pull out a large amount, then the Roth conversion might not be that beneficial for you.
Okay. Well, Cheri, so knowing that I was going to be with a Roth and an IRA specialist today, I thought of two cases. Now, I'll admit they don't apply to everyone, but would like your feedback if you think these are good points for cases where maybe a Roth conversion is not in your best interest, or at least not immediately. So one is, sometimes when people retire, they're going to move to another state. So if I'm moving to a state that has either lower or no income tax, I know that's not going to impact my federal taxes, but it'll impact my state taxes.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a good reason for me to not do the conversion now and maybe wait until I'm settled into the new state?
Sure, absolutely, especially depending on the level of your state taxes. Yes, that can be a very good reason to postpone and wait. One thing that I would consider, though, is the time frame that you're looking at moving, because one of the advantages of a Roth conversion is that any remaining growth you get within that account is now growing tax-free, because all of that is able to be removed tax-free. So you would really want to weigh the benefit you might get and any potential growth over that period of time versus any additional savings in the taxes that would no longer be due.
Okay, good point. And then, keeping with the theme of maybe this doesn't apply to everyone. And so, maybe another situation that a Roth IRA, Roth conversion is maybe not in your best interest. Normally, when we're having this conversation with people, their kids are maybe out of college and they're a little bit older. But some people had children later in life, or their children maybe started college later. But is it possible, if you're taking too much from your IRA to do the Roth conversion, that you could maybe disqualify from financial aid or something else that you might be relying on for your children's education?
Yes, certainly. Any income that you have is looked at as there to contribute towards your kids' education. So when you do a Roth conversion on your tax return, that is viewed as income. So that certainly could impact it and may definitely be a good consideration for therefore waiting until after the kids are out of college.
Okay, very good. So your points, I think, apply to a lot of people. My points, what I'm hearing from you, are valid, but they probably don't apply to too many people. But if you are in one of those situations, you might want to wait, or at least verify and make sure it's not going to hurt your financial aid or your state taxes.
Right.
Okay. Any other thoughts?
Just again, Roth conversions are a fabulous tool and a super opportunity for having tax-free growth. However, it's really beneficial to look at your current situation and truly assess if now is the best time for you.
Okay. And then I would add, sometimes it's just good to get some advice from someone who works with this on a regular basis. So if you have questions or would like to speak to someone about a Roth conversion, your current IRA, or retirement planning, reach out to us at Client First Capital. You can reach us at clientfirstcapital.com. And you can also sign up for our newsletter, where we publish videos and articles pertaining to retirement and financial strategies. So with that, Cheri, I think we're done. Good job.
Thank you, Cary. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. See ya.